Today we are going to summarize a piece of text by finding the keywords or phrases that are most important. Remember that these points of information should focus on the who, what, when, and where from each text. I am going to begin by modeling two paragraphs for you using the article Egypt Wants Its Face Back found in Achieve 3000. To start, I'm going to utilize the highlighting tool to help determine the key points. Blue will signify the who, yellow will signify the what, and green will signify the when and where. Next, I must read the entire paragraph. So, Luxor, Egypt. For over 150 years, a carving of the face of Pharaoh Ramses VI has sat in the British Museum. That carving, though, was originally part of Ramses' sarcophagus. Egypt is rebuilding the coffin and wants the museum to return that important piece of it. Now, I'm going to reread and use my highlighting tool to locate the key points. First, I will use the blue color to highlight all of the key points about who the paragraph is about. I am going to select Pharaoh Ramses VI and highlight this in blue because he is the only person that was discussed. Next, I'm going to use the yellow highlighter to determine what the paragraph was about. I know that the paragraph talked mainly about the carving of the face, so I'm going to highlight this in yellow. It also talked about rebuilding the coffin, so I'm going to also highlight this in yellow. And then lastly, returning that important item was also a key point that needs to be highlighted in yellow. Lastly, I also need to determine where these things took place. I noticed at the very beginning of the article, Luxor, Egypt was noted as to where this happened. So I'm going to highlight that in green. Also, the British Museum was a place that this paragraph discussed and where the carving ended up. Next, what you need to do is go ahead and open up your reading connections and click on Summarize. I'm going to go ahead and extend this box so that we have enough room to write. I'm going to first write all of the keywords that I highlighted throughout my text in a list. So for example, I will write Luxor, Egypt, carving of the face, Pharaoh Ramses VI, British Museum, rebuilding the coffin, and the word return. From this list, I'm now going to generate a 1 to 2 sentence summary of the paragraph I just read, using all of these key words. So for example, I am going to write a carving of Pharaoh Ramses VI sits in the British Museum. And the Egyptians want it returned so they can rebuild the coffin. As you can see, I've used many of the same words from my list. So I have the word carving, I have Pharaoh Ramses VI, I also include the British Museum, how they want it returned, and how they also want to rebuild the coffin. Do not forget to go ahead and click Save so that we can move on to the next paragraph. For the second paragraph, I will do the same thing. First, I must read the paragraph in its entirety. Ramses VI ruled Egypt over 3,000 years ago. Like many such burial chambers, Ramses' tomb was robbed within 100 years of his death. As a result, his sarcophagus, a stone coffin with a carving of his image, was broken into pieces. In 1823, the face of that coffin arrived in the British Museum, where it has been ever since. Again, using the highlighting tool, I am going to use the blue color to highlight Ramses VI because he is the only person that he was talked about during this paragraph. I am also going to highlight the keywords tomb, robbed, carving, broken, and arrived. All in yellow because this is what took place in this paragraph. Then lastly, I'm going to highlight both 1823 and British Museum because this is when and where the things took place in this paragraph. Again, I'm going to open my reading connections and select Summarize and write all of the keywords that I highlighted throughout my text in a list. So I'm going to start with Ramses VI, tomb, robbed, carving, broken, 1823, arrived, and British Museum. Here, once again, I am going to generate a 1 to 2 sentence summary of the paragraph I just read using the key words. In this case, I will write, Ramses VI tomb was robbed and they broke his coffin, but in 1823, the carving arrived at the British Museum. And once again, you can see that I have used many of the key words from my list. Ramses VI, tomb, robbed, broke, coffin, carving, arrived, British Museum. Again, don't forget to click Save. Now, we are going to try a summary together. I would like you to log in to your Achieve 3000 account and click on the story titled Ruler's Resting Place Found Again.